let's go to the tracks. But not the one Usain Bolt used to break the 9.58 record. It is the circuit where we head to Montreal, where it was a weekend where Mercedes showed that they are still one of the best cars in the world.
I know the best.
Well, maybe.
I still think they're the best.
Looks like
I think they're the best. I thought Hamilton was a crybaby. And I was saying it a lot of time. People like they don't want to listen to me.
Lewis Hamilton
I loved him. No, I know much. I love Lewis Hamilton.
Organic Sam is having a contrary opinion to Mercedes.
It was one of the people that made me,
It was more of like.
He was always
well, it's their
unexpected happened.
It's their first win in 2025.
He was always
their first win. But George Russell, George Russell to the of course the Canadian Grand Prix winner, and it was a podium finish for Mercedes 1 and 3.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm funny enough. I'm coming back to George Russell, but for me, Kimi Antonelli was the most amazing thing that I watched last week.
No, the boy is special.
First time in Formula One.
Yeah.
And he's been amazing.
The boy is special.
Throughout this season.
What did he play for
I think
the right rookie.
The right rookie to replace Hamilton.
Yeah. I think the number of times he didn't finish in a award. I mean point awarding position. I think we're just few. Yeah. He's been around there 6, 7, 8. Then finally, he became the third youngest.
Yeah.
Ever.
18 years, 240.
18 years, 240. Yeah. I mean, the other guys are Lance Stroll and
of course, Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen. Yeah. He made amazing history. And I watched him each time. Funny enough, when the season started, it wasn't him I was looking like he's going to do that. Well, probably I didn't get my judgment right.
Where was Abdul at the age of 18?
He was playing with Yami Lamal. So now, for me, that was the peak. Then the other side of it again is for the first time in his 90 years career.
Yeah.
10 races, no podium finish for Lewis Hamilton. Now, before moving to the Ferrari, we're thinking that this car has become so bad.
Exactly.
No.
He also kept complaining.
Russell has been with the Mercedes for the past 2 seasons. Yeah. This is fourth podium. I mean, this is not podium finish. This is the fourth time he's winning a Grand Slam.
A Grand Prix.
But it wasn't
a Grand Prix.
It wasn't the lead driver.
Then he was not the lead driver.
Last season he was one of the lead driver.
Because of the failure of Lewis Hamilton.
Since what's his name? Since Bottas left this thing, the issue of who leads and who not is fading away gradually in Formula One.
Yeah, but this guy said it clearly now. What's the name to the Wolf?
To the Wolf said
what? Yeah, said clearly it was Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton was true. It was
underperforming.
Mercedes wanted to keep him.
But get something right. You can't talk about the lead driver when they are almost at par. But if Russell is always ahead,
that's how bad. That was how bad.
Because the other cars will come.
Yeah, that's how bad Lewis Hamilton was.
He has been bad. He was terrible last season.
So let's give it. Let's call him out.
Yeah. I mean, as a Grand Slam, he was able to win 1 or 2 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Then this season, 10th in his 19 years career, 10th, no podium finish.
It's a bad business by Ferrari.
It is, of course.
It's looking like
they gave multiple years, not just 1 year.
I'm telling you,
because Mercedes says you're 40. Mercedes says you're 40.
We don't need to keep it for long.
1 year.
Yes.
And the amount is not going to was not that enticing.
Yes.
Then Ferrari from Norway, probably because they want a boost for their image, came from Norway.
They've got the boost.
Then let's go. What's his name? I'm trying to remember the person that they let go. They said, "Come on, take over." And it is affecting Charles Leclerc because Charles Leclerc was playing better, drive better last year than this year. The closest he came to this year is just finishing second in Monaco.
I think it was
that other side. He had been on podium just once or twice.
Leclerc was able to 5 and 6 in the race.
Well, Verstappen finished second. It's looking like the championship is slipping from his hands.
I mean, Verstappen is doing amazing things. They are the 4th fastest car, not the first, not the second, not the
fourth. Yes, according to
and he has always been. Has won 2 Grand Prix this season. He won in Japan, and he equally won in Italy, right? In Rome. Yeah, he won in Rome. Nobody expected that to happen, and he's always on the podium. The number of times he has not finished on the podium were just few. And they have a car. You can see what Yuki Tsunoda is doing. He's always down there.
Yeah.
And the reason why they are 4th on the team table is because of Yuki Tsunoda. It shows their car is terrible. They started, I think, is it Liam Lawson? Then Liam Lawson also giving them what they want. They now changed because they now took Liam Lawson back to Racing Bull.
Lawson was terrible. During the season, they have to
just after 2 or 3 races. Yeah,
it was 3 races actually.
So to tell you how bad,
was terrible.
To tell you how slow Red Bull has actually become. Look at where Yuki Tsunoda always finish. To tell you how good Mercedes is. Look, in Formula One, you need 2 things: a good driver and a good car.
I always say it every time. Abdul don't want to believe me. It's not about the driver. You need a good driver.
Of course.
I needed a good car.
But you need more of a good driver.
So yeah,
do we agree that you also need more of a good driver?
Of course, we've seen the issue of a good driver. Yeah, you need more of a good
driver. Because if you have a good car without a good driver,
you hit it right. Because if Red Bull were having 2 bad drivers, they wouldn't have been where they are right now. if Verstappen is a bad driver, he wouldn't have been stopped. Do you know that he's always in the miss?
You know, he wins the championship, but they don't win drivers. The
Because
championship.
of how poor his partner,
His
Perez,
partner
George
is.
Perez, I mean,
So it's
George
about
Perez
him.
was. You understand? It's
And
about
not
the
just the
driver.
cars alone.
No, yeah, the car is important.
The car is
but
important, but the driver is more important.
So now, yesterday,
Do you know how
yesterday,
also?
I'm still trying to put
on
that
Saturday,
wrap my head around.
after the qualifying,
Yeah.
when Russell, get the pole, I was like, okay, come on, Verstappen is going to win this time around.
Okay.
I was also sure Verstappen is going to win. They started the race. Verstappen did all he could. He couldn't win. But
he put
at
on
the
his
end,
stunts.
I think, you know what? Verstappen used to play this thing that at times just not just Verstappen, most of them. They wait for the 9 minute and
then
yellow flag.
late, yes.
Then that's when they will now pit, come back, and this. So in the last 2-3 races, it didn't work that way for them. After the race, Verstappen complained. That was his name. Russell was driving erratically, that he needs to be punished.
Oh, wow.
But come on, they said no, they're not going to punish him.
Yeah,
And
but
everything
they said they were
remains.
not going to punish him
But
directly.
the good thing is, at the end of the day, Verstappen reduced the gap between him and the person that is topping the the driver
it's too much.
standing.
It's
It's
too
too much.
much.
But come on,
Let's write it down.
how many
As we
races to
speak
go?
right now,
We have 14 more races to
almost
go.
40 something points.
We have 14 races to go.
We
We
have
have
14
42. Yeah,
But
42 points.
it's for the, I think it's
42 points now.
22 points off
Lando Norris now.
Norris
Yeah.
Norris up
We're coming back to that. Yeah.
Why this guy is 21 points off the Britain, that's Norris. So let's be sincere, man. I think the gap is much, but
The gap is
like
not
you
much.
see,
The gap is not much.
with the way
Who says
See,
McLaren cannot have another DNF?
that is just it. That's just it. That's what
Did
I
you
want to
expect
say.
what happened in
No,
that
no,
was it? It happened in
and
the
I think the
67th
rivalry, I think
67th lap.
the rivalry between both of them
Let me
could
bust
be
his
the
head.
downfall.
Could be their downfall.
Because you saw what happened in that race.
Yeah,
in the race.
we're coming to
The
that
rivalry
first.
between
But
them,
let me
yeah.
just bust your head,
Yeah.
right? Let me tell you something. When the season started last season, the first 10 races, McLaren, I said McLaren and Red
Red
Bull
Bull straight up,
dominated.
straight up, yeah.
After those 10 races, the gap was almost 80 something,
Was
90
gone.
something. But go and check at the end of the day the number, because from after that 10 race, this guy was always on the
McLaren picked
podium,
up, yeah.
but he won only one Grand Prix, which is the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
So we're talking about 80 something. It wasn't more than
But
80 something.
people
It was
were-
about 1 round
but
something. I
what I
think
picked from
because
last
they were
season-
doing because
what I
the
picked
fight.
from last season was that the tail end of last season gave us a true reflection of what
No,
McLaren
their
will be this
car
season.
after the mid-season, wherever,
Yes.
their car became slower.
Exactly.
But because
Just show us what's gonna happen this season.
Verstappen was a good driver, he was able
He
to
kept
maintain.
stay up,
Now,
yeah.
he was not winning. He was not, but he was
But he
always on
stayed
the
on
He
podium.
was always in the podium.
Or around the podium. It's either on the podium or close to the podium.
And that's why I
But
said-
now they now had issues with Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez now became a different person entirely.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's why they couldn't win the team,
Constructor championship.
Yeah, but come on, you need to give it to Verstappen. He knows what he's doing.
Now let's
He's a
go
good
to
driver.
Oscar Piastri and
Yeah.
Lando Norris.
Deba could have
What
went
happened?
up. Foolishness.
No, not foolishness.
No, it is.
No, I love this. I love this.
See, they are team.
Let me have one.
You are first of all your teammates, and I tell people in Formula One, there's the team, like he said, there's the constructors.
So is it the situation? One person not wanting to be lead driver.
Exactly. Communication. You are fourth and he's fifth. It's simple communication. Now you try to finish fifth, you try to overtake your man, and you get a crash, and you are off. You can't continue.
He misjudged it according to him. But
Yeah, he said he misjudged.
yeah, he misjudged that.
I
move,
agree
right?
what he's trying to say.
And he apologized.
He apologized. Not he said
Previously.
that was a stupid move. I listened to what he said. It was stupid. I watched the video. It was so tight.
Now here is it, bar. The truth is this. I don't know, Shao.
The rivalry
2019 now,
and I tell you,
2019
that could be the downfall of that team. And that was giving my
No.
the chance
That's
to
my
climb
issue.
up.
We didn't see the base of Valtteri Bottas because of the same issue.
Lewis Hamilton.
Valtteri Bottas was an amazing
Step
driver.
down.
Step down. Now that's what I.
That was the order every time.
It is first and foremost. Yeah, I know it's a team game, but it's
But
only an
also
individual
you drive,
game.
yes, it is.
If I am driving very well, allow me to continue driving. Now the good thing about I don't know. I think McLaren don't have a lead driver.
They do not.
No, they don't.
It's not clear.
They didn't clearly say, "Look, you are the lead driver."
They did not- it's not said, it's not said.
This thing.
It's
Because
just more.
if they have a lead driver, and now that's what made the game interesting for me. Just like how the same thing. No,
Is it a
See,
good strategy?
it is. It works for Red Bull. Last year and 2 years ago, when Red Bull dominated 2 years ago, it was open. The day
But they didn't end up winning
they were winning everything until last season that they couldn't win the team championship. Now, because their car became slower last season. But the day Sergio Perez is having a good day, they will never tell him slow down for Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen will end up finishing second.
Exactly.
Now,
Perez
in the case
want
of
to win the race.
there are so many Grand Prix that Valtteri Bottas was supposed to win, but he couldn't win because
He
they
stepped down,
wanted
Lewis
him.
Hamilton.
So it messes with his. Now he's all guy even in. I think okay, he's driving for. Is it Kisaba? No, Williams, right?
Yes,
No, Williams. Yeah,
Williams.
Williams. And he's driving
bad,
for
very
a
bad.
car that is not fast enough.
Yeah.
Now I was condemning this back then. Now that I'm saying this, since I'm happy. The day I'm good, I'm good. Look, I understand the whole thing. I understand what you guys are trying to say, but look. People were thinking Lando Norris is going to be the lead driver. Oh, he's going to be the main person because of his exploit last
Experience.
season. No, his exploit last
Even
week.
his experience,
But
more
from
experience.
this year, what we've seen, apart from winning the first Grand Prix of the year in Australia, which is the home country of Piastri.
Yeah.
After that, it has been Piastri. Piastri has about 5 wins this season.
Yeah, 5 wins actually.
5 wins this season. So it shows Piastri is a better driver.
And it's finishing podium places 8 times.
Yeah.
8 times, yeah.
I give it to
So
Piastri.
do we now start saying, oh, because Lando Norris looks like the guy last season? I'm like, no, allow this. This
is
guy,
where I think
see,
this is where the
if, see,
team money- this is where the
if
team
we're not
money
going to
is
have
coming.
competition between rival, constructors, right? Let's have competition within an intra competition. So I'm enjoying the intra competition.
I think the management can do better.
No, I think
The
we should allow this
management
to
can do
continue.
better. No, I don't.
Because see, at some
not- it don't help the
some
team.
point, like last
To
season,
help the team.
see, last season,
Declare and Piastri the lead driver. Norris will understand. His experience.
see, no, so 2023, right? From now on became so boring because from the beginning to the end,
It was,
you know that
it is
Red Bull,
Red
Max
Bull,
Verstappen,
We all
Sergio
know that
Perez.
it was clear.
The beginning of last season too, it was almost the
Same
same
thing.
thing. First 10 races. Now, Formula 1 became more interesting when the competition came in.
Yeah.
After the first 10 races. When
But competition among
When
yourselves,
McLaren stepped up.
But is it competition
there
among
was
your
even a
teammates?
competition. Now, here is it, right? Competition among the teammate now. If not for the DM, they would have the difference between them in their standing in the team standing. It's having bigger now. But I understand the DNF that happens. I understand what you're talking about. The only thing is, come on, be more careful when you want to do it, especially if you're doing it against your teammates.
Okay.
But don't tell me that because of this,
Okay.
Formula 1 should go ahead and say, you know what, from now on, these are lead driver, this. No, because
No, it's about the
they will
team.
harm themselves.
The team should come first. That's why I see it.
Well, we wait to see how that pans out.
Funny enough, they celebrate more of the driver championship than even the
yes,
team
I agree,
championship.
I agree, yes, I agree.
At the end of the day, everybody knows Lewis Hamilton for being the driver champion, not for
Messi.
you understand?
But give me the picture. They didn't want it. At that point in time.
Well, they move next to the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the end of
Austria.
the month. Austria, beg your
Austria,
pardon.
Austria, yeah.
At the end of the month. It's looking like McLaren 1-2 for now in the drivers' competition. It is also McLaren who lead.
Yeah,
the constructors'
in the team, yeah. In the
I think
team.
that's done and dusted.
But I think that's where the competition is right now.
In the constructors' championship.
The team, right? Yeah, the team, right? Because you have a Mercedes that is far off.
Coming up, but it's coming up.
They are taught.
You,
They were overtaken by Ferrari last. I mean, in the
I think
Spanish
it's done
Grand
and
Prix.
dusted already for McLaren.
In the
For
constructors.
In the
McLaren.
constructors.
Yes, yes.
It's
I
done and
agree.
dusted.
But
The point, call the two that
But yeah, because each week you're so sure that the
One
two
of
of
them
them
will
will
finish
finish in a
podium
position.
finish.
Yeah,
And
no,
one-
not even on podium.
Two
Even
of
not
them
on
will be
podium.
close.
Position,
They'll be
The
close.
to
position
end
where
point.
a point will be
Exactly.
given
Too
to you,
close to the
and that's what
finish.
makes it very interesting for me. But like I said, for Lewis Hamilton, I think Ferrari needs to now have everything. But we understand that Lewis Hamilton is underperforming, right? How about Charles Leclerc? Is Lewis Hamilton underperformance affecting Charles? Because Charles is not giving us what we want.
Hamilton is 6
Now, George
on the
Russell-
overall standing.
Just
having less than 100 points.
After how many
yes. And
Terrible.
look, George Russell has not been winning, but he's always around the podium. too.
Yeah.
The only time, I think, the only few times, I think just 2 or 3 times that
No,
Charles,
George
has actually had an amazing season.
And Hamilton has
For the
not had a
past 2
single
years.
podium finish.
no,
But-
not now, for the first time in his 19 years of
But
career.
it's-
Not a
See,
single podium
Yeah,
finish.
after 10 races.
Come on, man. We
After
all
10
saw it. We
races.
saw it coming. It's not a news.
No,
anymore.
me, I didn't see it coming. Initially, I was
That's
thinking Mercedes became slower as a car. It's not as fast as it used to be.
I said it to all
Right.
those who wanted to hear in those years, about 10 years back. We wanted to hear Lewis Hamilton was
Yeah,
gone.
but it was actually clear.
It's
too.
the mind block.
It was actually clear because that competition that year, that 2021
he wanted to
competition between
retire
him,
at some point.
yeah, he was
changed
considering
his bag,
retirement
like,
after that.
nah,
Yeah.
Let me just come back. He was on the side. And
No,
this
no,
is
but here's the thing, right? I think the bad move here for me is he should have left.
when the ovation was loud.
Should
When
have
the
left
ovation was
Mercedes
loud.
should have left Mercedes at that after the
After that,
2021.
When he won,
right?
or when he
After
lost
he
on
lost
the final
after
day to
2021,
Verstappen.
yeah. He should have
Not
left Mercedes
stayed
then,
one
probably then move to wherever he wants to
Yes.
move to.
After
Stay in the Mercedes 2 more years, really Mercedes.
Messi
Is it 2 or 3 more
Messi
years?
said-
3 more years. Because he was there in 2023, he was there in
Messi-
2023, he was there in
Messi said-
2024. He just moved after the end of last year. Messes him up completely. And he's reducing that his godlike status in
He
Formula
was
1.
untouchable.
Well, let's hope and see how it pans out for him. Maybe we'll draw inspiration from Kamaru Usman, who has not won a single fight since 2021, but went on to win over the weekend. Oscar Piastri lead the Formula 1 and is followed by his McLaren teammate Lando Norris in a 1-2 in that order. It's looking like McLaren will definitely win the Constructors' Championship, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, it looks like
in the
he's there
Formula
already.
1 this year. It's McLaren's year, finally. Of course, after playing second fiddle to Verstappen for a while, and for Ferrari and Mercedes.
No, just last year.
Yeah.
The only place second to
No,
last year.
yeah,
Just last
I mean
year.
their individual
When we
drivers.
saw it,
I'm talking
yeah,
about their individual drivers.
Yes,
Their
individual
individual
But
just
this
last
year,
year.
So it's just-
this year. I think this year one of them will be there. I'm
Last year they
just
came
sure.
close. Like they
One
came,
of them.
and the beauty, like I said, see,
One of them wins.
there seems to be liberalization almost everywhere. Just like the way we used to have now we have multiple winners now. We have 4 winners right now.
Even in tennis, in
just 10.
basketball.
Before
everywhere.
now, bro, they will run 10,
10,
15
one
races,
winner.
just 1 or 2
2
winners.
winners.
But now we have George Russell wins, we have Verstappen with 2
Verstappen,
wins,
you have
we have
Lando
Lando Norris with about
Lando
3 wins.
Norris,
You
I
have
think 3.
Piastri.
And then Russell with his first win also.
Yes.
Yeah, Russell. Yeah, so we have 4 drivers, 4 drivers
winners,
that actually
yeah,
won
4
this.
winners, yeah.
Amazing. Just making sure Formula 1 interesting. It shows you from watching Formula 1, you're not so sure who is going to win. Aside from the D,
Even if after pole, self, he's still not sure.
yeah, even if at that point, I mean,
Most times, if you have to hit pole, you just know he's gonna win.
the Imola that this
Yeah,
guy won, he didn't
Imola,
start
yes.
as,
He started,
the pole driver now. No, it was
He was
Piastri
at the
aside
pole.
as a pole driver.
So give it to George.
You know, see, at times again, it's about timing. It's not about the speed. Timing when you pit, because some guys are smart. They'll pit when it was almost end, when it is almost end, and they will allow, because they know that towards the end there's always going to be this fast drive, so that most likely is going to be a crash. So the yellow flag will definitely come out, and everybody will slow down. That is when they will pit, and that will always give them. And particularly Verstappen, that dude is something else, man. He is the Novak Djokovic
of Formula 1.
Yeah.
Well, you cannot take it away from a good driver. Like we've established, you must be a good driver with a good car. But if you have a good car and you have a bad driver, somehow it doesn't.
Maybe you could
work.
have a good mind as well.
Off the pitch, brought to you by our studio today. We decided to go off the field of play, and we went to the court where we discussed, of course, the NBA Game 4. If you missed that game, don't miss Game 5. Whether it's going to be
tonight,
Pacers or it's going to be the Thunders who take it. And on the circuit, it was George Russell who smiled in Montreal, winning.
Nobody saw it coming.
The Canadian Grand Prix.